My favorite zombie movie is Brain Dead by Peter Jackson, and Brain Dead is also the #1 way stall teams have been slandered for the more than decade and a half I've been around competitive Pokemon. And I think that's a shame because people will call them all sorts of things, cheap, skillless, degenerate, brain dead, all that. I think it's a shame because I find playing against stall teams really invigorating because it is a great challenge. It demands the highest level of execution from you across the entire battle, or you will get mercilessly choked out. I think that's great. And I think that a lot of people who really hate stall because it slows the game down and, I won't go into the whole, it delays the instant gratification or whatever, but people who hate stall see it as a kind of other play style, not real Pokemon. And so their solution for beating stall tends to be something like, let me have this quick, easy anti-stall thing I can put on my team. So if I face stall, then I just beat it automatically because of thing, and then I move on to the next battle to play quote-unquote real Pokemon. And you know how I said that beating stall involves, a high level of execution throughout the whole battle? Yeah, the quick and easy version of this video is that breaking stall is done systematically. It's not as simple as put on... This is something very common that you see, that sometimes teams... You'll see people talk about how they have a dedicated stall breaker Pokemon. And a lot of the time, way more often than not, in fact, beating stall is not going to be a matter of stick that one Pokemon on your team and stall collapses forever. I mean, of course, there are some Pokemon that are, by themselves, very good against stall, but more often than not, it's going to be a team effort. And thus, a lot of people will say, if you don't have this stall breaker Pokemon, then you are dead in the water against stall. And that is very not true. Because a lot of teams, or most good teams, I would say, especially, you don't have to go out of your way to include this kind of stuff on your teams. As long as you have a good plan of offensive attack that accounts for the defensive stuff you're going to be seeing in the metagame in conjunction with each other. I'm not saying if you run Heatran you can never lose a Skarmory. That's not how it works. I'm saying you have to run Heatran and then have a plan for Skarmory and friends. So that is more how you beat stall. And I made a video recently about team building and how there's not one quick and easy solution. There's not one objective, correct way to teach it, to do it. And I'm not even talking about generational differences here. I'm not talking about how the specifics of breaking stall are obviously going to vary tier by tier. It's different in Gen 4 Ubers than if you went to Gen 7 UU and tried to do it. Okay, so that's not what I mean. I mean by the fact that every battle is unique, and you are going to have to figure it out in the game as you're playing. And it's not just about, if I, face a stall team, I send an insert wall breaker here and click my big choice band move they can't switch into and win the game. It's not like that. And so that's why I have this replay on the screen. And we're not going to deep dive it or anything, but I just want to note that this is a team with Flaming Victini's team has a Scarflando T, a Stealth Rock T-Tar, a Mega Alakazam, a Subcalmine Cobalion is it Cobalion or Cobaline? Cobalion sounds better because... Actually, no, it probably is Cobaline, but just like with my Gliscor pronunciation that I know should be Gliscor, I'm sticking with it. Subcalmine Cobalion in Gen 6 OU, a UU Pokemon, not very good in OU, a Mungus and Rotom Wash. On paper, this is not a good team against stall at all. And he was not expecting to face stall on this team. And the team that his opponent, K12 the Machine, is using is ABR's old stall team, which had a stranglehold over the metagame at this point. It was everywhere. So, yeah, this battle is a favorite of mine, not just because you see Cobalion against stall, but because it is a systematic breaking down of a stall team with a team that is not truly prepared to deal with it. So, yeah, here we're just going to watch. I'm not going to handhold here and say, oh, you see this? Look at all the switching FV is doing. You'll notice he does not have any wall breakers on his team that he can just go to and just start clicking big moves at this point. He's double switching all the time. He's going to use the fact that his Rotom Wash is burned at some point for paint splits later. He's going to dish out, chip damage everywhere he can. He's racking up little bits of damage on the team wherever he can get them, and from there, the chips start to fall. That means once X Pokemon drops to Y health percentage, then the game becomes a lot scarier. Look there, he might have wanted to switch on that Sableye there, or maybe not. Doesn't matter. The specifics don't matter. Just like this is a representation. Just like in that team building video, then it wasn't a specific team building demonstration for one generation, because then, once you get too much into the specifics of that one generation tier team battle, then you take away from the vaster way it can apply to, Pokemon as a whole. And so here you see the general play style. It is going to involve all sorts of double switching and racking up chip damage, direct and indirect. See, there's a little pursuit on that Chansey. That did 28%. Was that a huge pursuit? Was that a Choice Band T-Tar ripping off more than half of Blissy's health like in DPP, OU, or Ubers? No, it wasn't. It was 28% on a Chansey. That 28% is going to be big, whether it was at full health or not. So yeah, it's less about... people will think of Stall as this kind of other play style because they hate it so much, because it just makes their blood boil from how much it slows down the game. But you gotta treat it like it's any other play style, and then it makes a lot more sense. It seems like the most obvious thing in the world, and there's a very good real-world political allegory to be gleaned from that. But I mean, it's... Yeah, I think... I'll stop there before I get all sociological. It's like, oh, instant gratification, and, people get, but, yeah, I think, even that, he even misses Focus Blast on the Quagsire there. Tragic. That was a roll to kill, I think. But, yeah, look, all I'm saying is if that a Sub-Calm Mind Cobalion can help bring down the reigning stall, or a stall team at the time, then, anything's possible. So, I mean, look at this. He's using even Pokemon that aren't good against Stall can be useful for this kind of thing. I mean, this has a lot of counterparts in other generations. But like, did you see there how just a Scarf Landorus Therian found use against the Stall team? It's so easy to... or Scarf Flygon in DVB can do similar things sometimes. But, you'll see people say things like, oh, well, it's a Scarfer, so it's useless against all. I mean, look, they're knocked off the Quagsire lefties. There's another example. And, oh, my Free's getting ripped apart by the spikes. Good lord. So, yeah. I was starting to deep dive the game, as is my instinct. But, yeah, point is that... yeah, it's... I hate to just keep hammering this point over and over again, but it really cannot be emphasized enough that it's a team, and obviously you have to have the tools for it. I mean, that should go without saying, you would think, but a lot of people will not prepare for Stall. And I recognize that preparing for Stall is tough sometimes. It is a team-building restriction. But you have to view it like you would, any offensive threat. Oh, look, another Focus Blast missing the KO. That's tragic. Cobalion deserved better. But, yeah, this is a... I mean, I hate to frustrate the viewer with, not giving the safe and easy answer. But with a lot of things in Pokemon, there is not a... sorry about saying safe. I didn't mean it like, you gotta break rules to, be good in this. No, nothing like that. None of that edgelord nonsense. I mean, there's not a quick and easy solution. That I think is more accurate. Because, it's not a, how do I team build? How do I break Stall? It's all kind of the same thing where it's I mean, trial and error, first of all. I mean, look at the like Mega Alakazam against a team with Mega Sableye and Chansey winds up being the game winner. You know, that doesn't happen because Mega Alakazam just beats the whole team by itself. Far from it. But it happened because of a concentrated team-wide effort. And of course, FV playing out of his mind. So, yeah, I hope that quick little demonstration was useful or enjoyable for you. And I have the replay in the pinned comment along with the link to my awesome zombie movie of my own, inspired by Braindead. So that all wrapped together nicely. You can feel free to donate so I can make the next Braindead. Thank you kindly. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this. And good luck, and go out there and break some stall.